After years of trying, failing, and watching everyone else succeed, I finally gave up on the dream that had lived in my heart for over a decade. What happened next completely changed my life.
Welcome back to God Showed Up Stories. Tonight's story is for anyone who has ever carried a dream that didn't happen when they thought it would. The people who worked hard, stayed faithful, kept showing up, only to watch doors remain closed. Maybe you've prayed for something for years. A business, a career, a relationship, a calling. And after enough disappointments, you started wondering if maybe it just wasn't meant to happen. If that's you, this story is for you. Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who may need encouragement tonight. And comment below. Have you ever almost given up on something important to you? Never forget this. Sometimes God's delays are not God's denials. All right, let's get into tonight's story.
For nearly 12 years, I carried the same dream. Not a fantasy, not a wish, a real dream. One that kept me awake at night, thinking about what life could become. I wanted to start my own business. Not because I wanted to become rich, but because I genuinely believed I could help people. Every spare hour I had went into learning, reading books, watching videos, taking courses, making plans, building ideas. And every time I thought I was finally getting somewhere, something seemed to go wrong. The timing wasn't right. Money ran short. Life got in the way. Unexpected expenses showed up. Family responsibilities increased. Years passed. Friends started succeeding. People around me launched businesses, bought homes, built careers. Meanwhile, I felt stuck in the same place. The hardest part wasn't failing. The hardest part was watching time pass. Every birthday felt heavier. Every new year felt more discouraging. Because deep down, I kept asking myself, what if it's too late? I never stopped believing in God. But honestly, there were seasons when I questioned whether God had forgotten about my dream. I continued working my regular job, paying bills, showing up, doing what needed to be done. But internally, the disappointment kept growing. Then one evening, after another setback, I finally reached my breaking point. I was sitting at my kitchen table surrounded by notebooks full of plans that had never become reality. 12 years of ideas, 12 years of trying, 12 years of waiting. And honestly, I was exhausted. I remember looking around the room and saying, God, maybe this just isn't supposed to happen. For the first time, I stopped fighting, stopped pushing, stopped trying to force doors open. I surrendered the dream completely, not out of faith, out of exhaustion. And strangely enough, that surrender brought peace. The next few months looked ordinary. Nothing dramatic happened. No miracles. No sudden breakthroughs. I simply focused on the life directly in front of me, helping people, serving at church, being present with family, doing the next right thing. Then one day, completely out of nowhere, I received a phone call. A friend I hadn't spoken to in years was starting a new project. During our conversation, he mentioned a problem he was facing, a problem that happened to match a skill I had spent years developing behind the scenes. One conversation became another, then another. Before long, I was introduced to people I never would have met otherwise. Opportunities started appearing, not because I chased them, because I had quietly been preparing for them for years. Within 18 months, I found myself doing the very work I had dreamed about all those years earlier. The dream wasn't identical to the version I originally imagined. It was better, healthier, more meaningful. And looking back now, I understand something I couldn't see during all those years of waiting. God wasn't ignoring my dream. He was preparing me for it. Because if that opportunity had arrived 10 years earlier, I wouldn't have been ready. Emotionally, financially, spiritually, professionally. The waiting wasn't punishment. The waiting was preparation. And maybe someone watching tonight needs to hear this. If you've been praying for something for a long time, if you're tired, if you're discouraged, if you're wondering whether God forgot about you, please remember this. Some blessings require preparation before they require arrival. Sometimes the dream is delayed because God is still building the person who will eventually carry it. And one day, you may look back and realize the waiting season wasn't wasted. It was the very thing that made the blessing possible. Because sometimes, God isn't saying no. Sometimes He's saying, not yet, I'm still working.
If this story touched your heart today, comment below. God is still working. And if you're currently waiting on a dream, remember this. A delayed blessing is not always a denied blessing. Take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who may need encouragement tonight. Thank you for spending this time with God Showed Up Stories. And always remember, God always shows up right on time.